This is Real Republican News. I'm your host, Jason Mariner. We as a country are dealing with the most radical, tyrannical, anti-American, anti-constitutional, and non-transparent administration this country has ever seen. They are destroying America as we know it. We have a constitution that our founding fathers created. It's an operating manual on how to run this country. That constitution has gone through some changes over the years. Some evolutionary ones, some good ones, like the Emancipation Proclamation when we freed the slaves. Abraham Lincoln did that. That was a good thing. That was something that should have happened. It made sense. Women's suffrage, when they were given equal rights and the playing field was leveled. That was a good thing. But to take away complete sections of the Constitution like the First Amendment, like the rights of conservatives to freely speak in the town square, is an absolutely crazy thing to do, and it only points to one agenda: the complete destruction of America. That's what they want. Why would they open up our southern borders and create a humanitarian crisis, for one, but number two, create a situation and a scenario where the cartels can pump an unprecedented volume of drugs through those gaping holes in our border walls? ISIS and the rest of the crazy radical Muslims overseas who wish death to America can send their operatives through those holes in the border wall and carry out attacks on U.S. soil. It doesn't make sense unless you can wrap your mind around the fact this administration might not like America so much. They might not have our best interests at heart. This generation has been lulled into a sense of complacency. Everyone thinks now that life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, freedom, the American way, is just something that they're going to have just because. That's not the case. Benjamin Franklin, one of our founding fathers, said, "I give to you a republic if you can keep it." What he meant when he said that is exactly what I'm talking about. This is something that might need to be maintained, fought for, cultivated, protected. It's not going to just exist and live on forever. It requires maintenance. Common sense. Common sense doesn't dictate that we open up a southern border and say to the world, come on in, it doesn't matter who you are, we'll take care of you. Number one, our country can't sustain it, and number two, it doesn't make any damn sense. Redistribution of wealth, massive taxation. They're completely changing and altering the structure of this country. Think about it for a second. The radical left has teamed up with Silicon Valley and told them, all the people that own the social media platforms, the new town squares where people communicate and share their thoughts, values, and ideas and get their information from, don't let the conservatives speak. We don't want competition. It's very clear to see. Look at H.R. 1. This resolution is meant to take the voting process out of the hands of states. When states control how voting is done, it's a bipartisan affair. They want to federalize it. They want to bring it up to Washington and make it a partisan thing. That means the radical left will get to control elections. If that happens, that's kind of like playing a baseball game and having the umpire be a member of the other team. It eliminates any possibility for fairness, equity, a lack of bias. They want to avoid what happened last election cycle. And I'll tell you what happened. They cheated. They needed to get rid of Donald Trump at all costs because he was draining the swamp. He was doing good for America. He was destroying their goal, which is the destruction of you and I. He was breaking the mold. So they said, we'll do anything we can to get rid of him. They almost under-cheated. States like Pennsylvania completely ignored and changed election laws mid-game without holding a vote. Not only is it unconstitutional, it's illegal, but they got away with it. Wisconsin had more people vote than residents that reside there. They got away with that one too. That doesn't make too much sense. 75 million Americans had a grievance. They said this doesn't make sense. We don't believe that Joe Biden could possibly run this country. No one voted for him. Why would they? We've never seen support at his rallies like we do for President Trump, yet somehow He won. We saw these ballot dumps in the middle of the night. The numbers didn't add up. There were anomalies all over the place. The math didn't work. The statistics didn't make sense. Yet, he's still in office. We haven't been told why. A lot of funny stuff is going on, and it's been hidden from the American people. Just like what's going on at the southern border, this humanitarian crisis that they have created, they won't do anything about it. They're not going to answer our questions. After 67 days, Biden holds a press conference and they say, "Are you going to let us in and see what's going on?" And he said, "Yeah, after I do my thing." That means he's going to build a movie set. He's going to have kids playing, smiles on their faces. They're going to be well fed and happy. They're going to have nice beds. You're going to want to take a vacation in what they show you. But it's all going to be a fake lie. They don't want you to see what's actually going on. They don't want you to see that Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the Taliban, they're all sending their operatives through these border wall holes. Why would it make sense for this guy to stop construction on the border wall the day he steps into office? It was almost done. Drugs, illegal guns, people, sex slaves, and illegal immigrants are all going to come through the holes in those border walls. It's going to kill Americans, put a strain on our economy, and it's already created a humanitarian crisis. That doesn't sound to me like it's good for the country. I ask that you look around and ask yourself really why. Why are these things being done? Does it make sense? Can you wrap your mind around it? Is it good for the country? The answer, if you have any common sense, must be no. How could a systemically racist country have elected a black president for 2 terms? If this country was systemically racist, why would people of all skin colors risk life and limb to get here? They wouldn't. That's because it's not. They just want you to believe that. How could 150 million Republican Americans that voted for Donald Trump be racist and bigots? You'd see it all day, every day. You'd encounter it all the time in daily life. It's simply not the case. It's just what they would like you to believe. Just like they told you the shooter in Boulder, Colorado, that took the lives of 10 innocent people recently was a big bad white man. He wasn't. He was a radicalized Muslim. Oh, and by the way, those Silicon Valley tech tyrants that are so good at detecting conservative speech, why don't y'all start developing algorithms to catch these crazy people who say death to America, who make it very obvious for the rest of us that they're going to carry out acts of violence that will cost Americans their lives? Why don't we say something about these very obvious things that are going on at our southern border, like these gaping holes where drugs, weapons, and terrorists are going to come through? Why don't we say, patch them up, build it, insist upon it? Why don't we demand that our kids go back to school, since now we know through science that they don't spread this virus like adults do. It's not dangerous for kids to be in school. It doesn't make sense. They said they were going to follow the science. We have a vaccine. The curve is flattening, yet we're still hearing about masks for another 2 years. It's not adding up to me, and it shouldn't be adding up for you. So look around, question things, and remember that we have God on our side. We've done this before. We did it in 1776. If we have to do it again soon, we will. Remember, one of the first flags flown during the American Revolution simply said an appeal to heaven. That meant that they had the guidance of God, good on their side. It was the old David versus Goliath story, good versus evil. Good always wins out. We have God on our side, they don't. So to my audience, fear not. Things will work out, but we will need to take action. You need to get involved in your own lives. Don't go with the mindset that you're only one person, you can't make a change, because that's simply not true. None of our founding fathers thought that way, and I refuse to think that way. Pray, be with your families, be well, stay vigilant, read between the lines, and until next time, I say God bless you, those around you, and the United States Constitution. My name is Jason Mariner. I'm the host of Real Republican News. Be well, everyone.